We've just arrived in Emirates Towers, where there's a place called Area 2071, and soon it's about to start a networking event organized by Dubai Startup Hub. I'm gonna be on the, let's call it stage, where I'm gonna engage with the audience, and we're gonna talk about logistics and entrepreneurship in Dubai. During this session and the sessions that will follow, we're gonna give some tips to you about entrepreneurship. That's why make sure you're gonna subscribe to the channel, because we're gonna document all our activities, and believe me, some very, very interesting episodes will come.
Welcome to our Dubai Startup Hub networking series. Dubai Startup Hub is the entrepreneurship initiative of Dubai Chamber of Commerce, and we are doing this initiative annually, and this is our third time, and it's a pleasure to see the growing number of entrepreneurs and people interested in this field joining us. We would like to welcome two of the entrepreneurs and founders. Sebastian Stefan, the founders and CEO of LoadMe, and Rodrigue Nacouzi from Transcorp. Please have a seat. I'll try to jump on this chair as well. I asked the team, I asked him to make sure that the chair is tall enough for me to jump. So, well, the whole purpose, actually, as Dubai Startup Hub, we don't necessarily want to lead the whole conversation, because it's actually, we want the two entrepreneurs to answer your questions and share the information that's relevant for the audience. But to start with, we know both of you in different settings due to different events or programs. So, for those people who haven't heard about LoadMe and Transcorp, maybe we can do a brief introduction.
Yes, my name is Sebastian, and our company is called LoadMe, and we're the first online marketplace for transporters in the Middle East. We've launched 4 years ago, and now there's a few other products on the shelf, but basically we're digitalizing the logistics space.
First of all, thank you for having us here. Thank you for the crowd to take the time to come before your long weekend to attend this session. My name is Rodrigue Nacouzi. I'm the CEO of Founder of Transcorp Intl. We are a transportation company specialized in last mile temperature controlled deliveries. We've been operating since 5 years in Dubai, and now we are expanding to the region and hopefully internationally in the next 5 years.
Excellent. So, well, guys, we know that, at least according to the latest reports by consulting company Stretch the Ant, published this year, that transportation and logistics is one of the most lucrative business. Only land logistics is about $9 billion, and you probably know the statistics better. And yet everybody was commenting that the big players are struggling and suffering. The revenues, the margins are down. So how you have been doing?
I always knew if you want to operate in such a dynamic city, you have to be different, you have to be unique. So what I did is I have restructured the company so far 4 times, and I was never hesitant or, let's say, scared of doing it. I was always adapting to the changes. I wanted to make sure we have a very unique product so we can avoid competition, and this is what we've been doing so far. So our processes are unique. The product itself is unique. I guess we are the only ones specialized in what we do now. The people that we hire are unique, and I would like to thank them. I have 2 of them in here with me. The first time I heard about being a market disruptor, it was 2 years ago. I was being interviewed by one of the famous magazines here, and the editor-in-chief said, like, Transcorp is a market disruptor. So I asked him, what is a market disruptor? So what we did is we have changed the whole industry of deliveries. We have added new processes. We have made it more technology-driven. So imagine, like, now if you're getting a pouch from a courier company, you're going to be getting a call from a call center based somewhere abroad. And if you're going to tell them, like, listen, make sure to deliver it to business bay. The first question they're going to ask you business bay is where? Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or Ras Al Khaimah, for example.
If not Muscat.
Yeah, if not Muscat. So we didn't want this. We wanted to change. We wanted something new. And we are the only transportation company that doesn't have a call center. Imagine, everything is automated. Everything is technology driven. The customers can pin their addresses to our app. They can even reschedule by themselves without having to call any call center. So this is what makes us different. On top of that, all the other players in the market, they have 2 delivery windows per day. To be unique, we have added another 2. So we are delivering in 4 different delivery windows throughout the days to narrow down the waiting time of those customers. And this is why our success ratio is at 98% currently, whereas most of the players range in between 60 to 70%. So this is how we have disrupted the market, and this is how we have succeeded, and this is why Transcorp is here currently.
Yeah. I almost heard my story from his words. We also had to change our plans maybe 4 or 5 times again a year. This is easy when you're small. I'm afraid what's going to happen when we grow. But this is also our skill as a startup or new company, a small company. You can twist yourself every now and then and still have an upper advantage. This is something that large companies can't do, or it will be very difficult for them to do. So shifting sands and a region with unexpected changes in border regulation or political changes are not in our advantage, but are affecting small companies less than affecting large enterprise. Also, we've been from the beginning a software company, not a transport company, and that was our unique selling point. So maybe we're the best software company in the logistics space from transport companies, and maybe the best transport company in the logistic out of the software companies, software sector. Yeah, that's my thought.
Speaking about changing plans, so both of you like pointed that you have to be flexible and open-minded about changing plans. And based on your personal stories, none of you have been you went to university or college first, and then both of you have been working for somebody. And both of you actually have been working in a logistics/transportation, DHL transportation company, and then you suddenly decide to start a business. Because in this audience, where I'm going to, in today's audience, when we're talking to people, we have a number of university students, and they're studying a particular subject, right? And they're like, can I become an entrepreneur if I study, let's say, engineering or finance? So how you have managed with this transition? Because you had first plan to go to university, study something, then work for somebody in a company. So what's your personal intake? How you manage that?
Yeah, personal experience is very important when you see the opportunity. So most of the time it's your previous sector, previous job. But not always. Could be that you are a parent and you find some problems, you solve those problems, and then you build a business around. That's still an experience. In logistics, I believe it's very difficult for someone who haven't spent time in the sector to start, because it's somehow a niche. On a niche, you really need to be an expert in the sector. But it's not a rule that you have to work a few years in that sector and then you can start only the business in that sector.
But also it's not an end point if after your college and you don't start your business. It's okay to work somewhere because then you get experience.
Yeah, in college you get experience and you get exposed to domains that people who go to work are not getting exposed. I don't know, video games or teen social networks, especially like teens. Those kind of things you can't expect from someone who's going to work every day from 9 to 5 to come out with a disruptive model in that space. So still your life, 24 hours of the day are filled with something and you become expert in that, or your hobby, or then it's ideal to start a business in that space.
Right?
Luckily, I have studied logistics, but I don't think it's a rule for entrepreneurs to have a background in what concept they want to start, honestly, from my own perspective, as long as they believe in the idea and as long as the idea is viable and they have the right people around them. Because for an entrepreneur, you should have the concept, you should look at the macro aspect of the business, and you need to have the right people around you to run the business. My experience is logistics, but what I'm doing is not based on my experience. I never had experience in cold chain, but I decided to jump into cold chain because I knew it was a niche, and I knew not a lot of people wants to do it, and this is what I knew I have to do. So I learned from my mistakes, I hired the right people, and here we are. We are doing currently 4,000 drops a day. I would have never imagined that we're going to reach half of it.
So speaking about the talent, right? You don't have to know everything in and out about your industry, but you have to build your team and find the people who will not only match with you emotionally, psychologically, but also bring that skill expertise. So, for example, Sebastian, we know that you grew in 3 years. You grew from 2 people to how many people?
18.
18. So how was transition for you to start suddenly managing this company?
Yeah, it's tough, and it's tough that you have to do your best in each department. When you're employed, you can rely on your colleagues. If you do a mistake, the HR manager will correct that, and so on. But here, no one will correct you, so you really have to. But still, you don't need to get crazy about the decision. You need to take the decision quick. Also, if you delay the decision, that's worse. At one point, maybe after 6 months, you just go for it and you don't overthink, and it starts to become natural later on, maybe 2 years in the business. It's tough, but different.
But you heavily involved in
yeah, it's always
every
a
person.
jump, and I encourage not to get scared. Somehow the worst don't happen. So don't think always of the worst. Just pretend it's going to be all right, and most probably it will be. Take fast the decision, and if it's the wrong decision, you took it fast, so you have time to change it. If you take late the wrong decision, that's worse than taking the wrong decision fast.
Speaking about the scary part and fears, we want to keep this series very transparent and very honest, right? Can you share with us some of the stories? For example, I will ask two questions, both of you. For example, for Rod, because you entered the segment where the already big players, international players, are actively engaged, and these contracts probably for 1-3 years already, the distribution companies are already locked. So your first B2B contract that you locked, and like where you failed, how was it, and what actually led you to succeed, to lock the first client. And for Sebastian, the question will be, you have about 18,000 truck drivers, right? Just imagine the crowd of 18,000 truck drivers. How you actually start engaging them? Because obviously there was some kind of anecdotes and funny stories or scary things that probably have been happening at the very beginning to understand this customer base.
Yeah.
I was just discussing it now with one of my friends here in the room. For companies like us, there is no specific job description for people, honestly. Like, yes, you give them a job description, but they end up doing everything. From accounting to HR, sometimes even to driving vehicles. Like, I lost count of our people, honestly, because we've been growing very fast. We're around maybe 220 people now. And everybody's still in the company doing everything. And this is why it's a very friendly environment. Issues, we always have issues, honestly. But since day one, we've been focusing only on locking in startups, people who are similar to us. We never went after the big players until recently, because our size justified it. But since day one, we always attracted similar crowds with similar minds. People that they understand that we have struggles and we have challenges. Because if you go to talk to a well-established company, they say, no, you have to be ready for it. Whereas players like us, they understand whenever you tell them, like, listen, I don't have drivers now, or I don't have vehicles, or my warehouse is full. So this was our approach since day one. And those startups contributed to the success of our company now, because without them, we wouldn't be here. An incident is...
Not the incident, but like your experience, keep it real. You go and knock the door and say, like, I have software, trust me, I'll deliver.
Like maybe 2 or 3 years back, we had a delivery to one of the hotels. It was a very luxurious detox juice program. And the cashew nut milk was spoiled. And the lady was a very, let's say, nice lady. So she wrote a big complaints on our website and our social media pages. And this is why I'm not a big fan of social media pages, because they don't give you the chance to, let's say, respond to such things. So what I did is, I have purchased myself a new plan and I took it personally to her. So once she opened the door, she said, wow, I didn't know that there are such drivers looking like you. So I said, I'm not the driver, I'm the founder of the company. But since we messed up, I'm here to apologize personally. And she kept on ordering from this website, by the way, and she's still a customer. So it was a very... Sorry?
Did she write another comment, a good one? Forget what I wrote yesterday, like good?
I don't recall, honestly, but she was pissed, and I can understand.
Thanks for being real. Thanks for being real. Sebastian, your story with the truck drivers.
Yeah, in order to convince truck drivers to join the platform, we tried everything. I estimate more than 40,000 calls we've done. But we also took team on the ground and we went in truck parking. There's the funny story now about this. People are very friendly there. Drivers, usually they stay there, have tea, so they serve us with tea and then they call for others. So soon, while we're drinking the tea, it was a good sizable crowd there, maybe 20, 30 drivers, talking, translating one to each other what we were presenting, and we started to download the app and to install and to present, and all of a sudden, in the middle of this, everything was going well. We were so happy, and someone said something. One of the older drivers. He said something like, these people are stealing the money from your phone and from your bank and from something like that. And everyone believed what he said, and we barely escaped alive from that. We had almost to run, because no one really understood. They don't even have email. And they were scared about things that they don't understand. What's in the phone, what's the security of the device affected by the app, and so on. They don't really understand that, so thank you. So they trusted someone from their community who just made an assumption.
But here again, like you mentioned two important things. A lot of the time when people start a business, and they, for example, come to the Startup Hub and they say, look, like, I don't know, I've tried, I've spoken with 15 people, they didn't buy. You mentioned 40,000 calls, right? It's, if you really want to test the market and to get your product out there, you can't measure your phone calls by dozens. It should be thousands to actually look into the people's door. And second point is to better understand your customers in terms of the cultural things, right? Probably maybe maybe in that setting you should have like spoke with the oldest one first, separately, and then bring to the bigger one. But it's a very good lessons learned, right?
Yeah.
Now you're runner. Are you runners? So you know how to
We changed the strategy, so we never do these large groups again, because it's way more difficult when to explain things to explain. So we try to keep a small group when we explain. That's one of the reasons why we failed in that point. The group was too large.
Two questions from my side, and then we'll invite Aya to join us. So, two questions from our side. In terms of the next big project and for Rod, what are you planning? Something with incubation.
I'm working on a project called Hub. It entails two main areas. One is to prompt and support the environment of startup companies specialized in the food industry. It's going to be a co-sharing kitchen spaces backed by an online incubator. And we're going to have an accelerator program for successful projects. The project is mainly going to take the successful local homegrown brands produced in Dubai and take them internationally to 10 different cities overnight. How we're going to do it is we're going to give all the support in terms of online exposure, in terms of procurement, in terms of production, in terms of delivery, storage, even into distribution channels. So we're going to make those products well known, successful locally, and they're going to be distributed in 10 different cities worldwide. Why? We're doing it because since day one I have believed in startups, and most of my customers were startups, and now they are small and medium-sized enterprises. If they get the right support and if they have the right concept, they are the next small and medium-sized companies. If anyone is interested, we're pitching for funds now. We can discuss it after the session. It's going to be a big amount. Imagine, I would love to have 5, 6, 7, 10 investors from this room to take this dream and make it reality. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a very successful project, and I want to thank you for supporting us with this project. But this is a small contribution to Dubai from what I got so far in my last 11 years. So I want to take those Dubai brands globally, and this is the only way I think we can do it together.
Excellent. So what's the frontier for Sebastian and the team? The next frontier milestone?
Yeah, we want to democratize our software and to offer the chance to anyone around the world to start a business like ours without worrying about the technology part. So we launch very soon software as a service that is dedicated to brokers, and they can become digital brokers overnight once they get our software installed. That's something that we're going to do from Dubai. It will be labeled as a Dubai company that hopefully will impact other markets. Some other plans are also in the AI algorithms that we're working on them for quite long now, and there's a lot of data that we're gathering, and hopefully we'll have a unique AI algorithm that will make the platform even more efficient.
Excellent, excellent. So both of you have these global aspirations, global ideas. I would like to ask Aya to join us. Aya is the manager and the head of Intl Incubator, and she's in charge of growing the next generation of global startups as well. So I welcome, and maybe you can share with us a few insights about what Intl is about and what's happening right now with you.
Hi everybody, my name is Aya Sadr. I'm the Incubator Manager for Intl. We are actually hosted at DTech. I think Veronica just said that.
You spotted, come back.
And we have some startups in the room. So Samar is here from Rent to Mum. We help incubate and startups, and we try to do this in the aviation, travel, and tourism space. The way we do so is we host 3 programs per year, one in the fall, one in the spring, and one in the summer. The one in the fall and the spring are the same program. They're basically a 2-month-long program helping startups be incubated. They meet the Emirates Group, GE, and Buy Tourism, and they pitch their concepts to them. We also introduce them to international and local mentors to help them develop their ideas further. And they get a tiny bit of seed funding, around 50,000 dirhams during their time with us.
Brilliant, excellent. Well, and thank you so much for giving an interview to Dubai Startup Hub and Abi in the room. And I think we're releasing Dubai Startup Panorama this week. So if you guys are interested in learning about what's happening in the startup world here around, please read the panorama. And Aya goes into detail why Emirates Group started it and what the benefits of joining the program. So the next call, when is the enrollment in the next batch?
Our deadline is in like 4 days for the next batch.
Okay, thank you so much. On this note, we would like to thank you, our amazing guest speakers. Thank you for sharing and being real. That's the most important.
Hi guys, my name is Bilal, and today I'm here with Sebastian Stefan, and he's the CEO of LoadMe. The question I have for you today is, how important is the group of friends that you're around?
It's very important, especially when you're young and you get easily influenced by the people around you. So, for example, if you want to start a business, so you're a student, you want to start a business, you want to get surrounded by friends who share the same vision with you. Maybe they also have an idea, they also want to start a business. If you get surrounded by people who just want to play games or do other stuff, you'll get slowed down by that. So this is my advice for you students or young entrepreneurs who want to start a business. Get surrounded by people who share the same values as you.
Yeah, that's right. You are the result of the 5 people around you, and that's so true. The last question I have for you is, what can we as a community do for you? Is there something that you'd like the people to do or that you'd like to share about?
Yeah, maybe you can follow our YouTube channel. It's called LoadMe, and there I film and I give some tips from my travels and some entrepreneurship, some tips for entrepreneurs like this one that you just heard.
Alright, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Bye.